Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge for your Fulham versus Arsenal live stream watch along, and I hope you're doing very, very well for the last Premier League games of 2023. Thanks everyone who's been part of That's Football this year. It's been incredible. We're also keeping an eye on Tottenham against Bournemouth, which may well be the better game. I don't know where everyone stands on that, but it might be. But we'll keep an eye on that as it moves through as well. But look, massive end to 2023 when you think about it, because Arsenal basically need to win. There's no two ways about it. You know, you look at that league table. I'm about to get it up on the screen for you now, and they definitely do need to win this. Arsenal down in fourth place at the moment. Win would put them actually top of the league for a brief period of time. But the fact that Man City have caught up with them will be very, very disappointing to them. But let's get that team news on the screen for you as well. Spurs are playing Bournemouth, so I mean, I think that could be a difficult one for them. But any changes from Arteta? Well, let's start off with Fulham. Leno, Castagnier, Tosin, Bassi, Robinson, Palina, Carney, Cordova-Reid, Iwobi, Willian and Jimenez. A couple of ex-Arsenal players there in there. Arsenal have gone with Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Cuellar, Odegaard, Rice and Havertz, Saka and Nketiah and Martinelli. He's benched Jesus. So, you know what? I don't know how this is going to work, to be honest, from Arsenal. I've never really been a big fan of Havertz in the same midfield as Odegaard. And I've never really been a massive fan of Nketiah either. So I think there's a vulnerability there. And with Fulham, you never really know what you're going to get either. So I think it's going to be really interesting. But get your thoughts in. Havertz was our player of the month, says PJ. Look, it's a personal opinion. I'm not an Arsenal fan. So it really, you know, I'll always bow down to Arsenal fans' opinion on who should play for their football club. But I'm just not a fan of Havertz. He'll probably go and score a hat-trick now. But yeah, I'm just not a fan. Not a fan. Fulham for the win, says WDS. Well, I think that would plunge Arsenal into a bit of a crisis if they were to lose. But I did a video on Friday on the channel, didn't I, where I said, look, you know, stop the nonsense about Arsenal. I don't think there's any genuine reason to think that they should be outright top leaders at the moment. I still do think that, you know, you look at that Arsenal side and they're a little bit. I still think they're a bit of a work in progress, you know? I do. I think they've got good players, but they're not Man City. I think they've got good players, but I don't think they're Liverpool. And you know what it is with Arsenal? I still feel Arteta's doing a great job with what he's got. But I think some Arsenal fans think they should be doing better with what they've got. And you do learn from the outside fan. I don't see Arsenal as the best team in the league. And I don't think that's a problem. I still look at that team and I think, you know, when you're having to start Nketiah up front, that says a lot. I don't think your midfield's that balanced, and I don't think your fullbacks are good enough either. So I still think that, and I've got, you know, I'm speaking from a position where I've been very complimentary of Arteta, but I look at Arsenal and I still think that they're not quite there yet. And I think somebody thinks, oh yeah, well, you know, we spent £100 million on Declan Rice, but I don't think they're there yet. I still think that if Arsenal finished second or third, it would be a really good season for them, because I still think there's weaknesses there. The same as I think there's weaknesses with Liverpool, but I think Liverpool's weaknesses are more about, can that midfield settle in quick enough? You know, I still think Liverpool have got a brilliant goalkeeper. Obviously got Mo Salah, Van Dijk, Trent, Robertson. They've still got a lot of good players, and I don't think Arsenal are at that point yet. You know, I look at Arsenal. Where's Arsenal's Trent and Robertson? All right, they've got Saka, who isn't quite Salah, but he's good. They've got Odegaard, who I really do rate. Their centre-backs are good, but they're not Van Dijk. And Raya's good, but he ain't Alisson. So, look, man, and Arteta's good, but he's not Klopp. So that's what I mean. I think there's a lot of nonsense written about Arsenal and their expectations, when actually they're man for man. They're not there yet. They're not yet there yet. And I think people demand that they're there, but I don't think they are yet there yet. Saliba is a good player. I do like Saliba. Yeah, we will be doing a watch along tomorrow night. I'll probably be very hungover, but it's a cracker, isn't it? Liverpool against Newcastle at Anfield, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So looking forward to that. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. It's been an amazing year on That's Football. We hit 1 million subscribers this year. We did the did we do the charity stream on here? £50,000 in one day. I think we did. Yeah. It's been an amazing year anyway. So thank you everyone who's part of the community. And remember, everyone's welcome on here. It doesn't matter who you support. So get involved. But any plans for New Year, by the way? I mean, we only ever get to talk about New Year on New Year. Any big plans today? I've obviously had a few New Year's Eve, so I can probably tell you about all of them. Does Anthony pay me, says DK? I've never heard such shit in all my life. Do I strike you as the sort of person that would get paid by a footballer to say positive things? If I do, then I'm... Oh! Odegaard, well, he can pay me. He's a bloody good player. I thought he'd scored there. Great shots. How close was this? Edge of the box, left foot curler. Here we go. That's the angle I want. Wasn't too far. I think Leno knew. Good shot, though. Alex is going to be in his bed like he is every single New Year's Eve. Some people just don't rate it, do they? I tell you what, I'm going to offend people here. But, you know the New Year's Eve fireworks? You can put them on the BBC tonight. Big Ben, on the Thames, all the fireworks, yeah. People will be queuing to be at the front of that now. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and people will be queuing to be at the front of that for midnight. So 10 hours they're going to stand there with a smile on their face. This is why Mrs. Brown's Boys exists. There are stupid people in the world that will watch shit. I watch it on the telly and I think it's better than what you see there. And people will go, you can't beat being there. I've been to London, right? So I've been to London and I've stood on the Thames millions of times. And I've also seen loads of fireworks. So what you're telling me is I could stand in London and look at fireworks and I'm missing out by watching it on the telly. Bollocks. Waste of time. Anyway, great start to this game. Martinelli, shoot! Oh, goal! Oh, is he? Is it? It's Saka. It's given. I tell you what, it was a great. You've inspired me to make a TikTok channel, says Royal TV. Saka scores here 1-0. It's a great start for Arsenal. They need it. Martinelli's shot was brilliant. And there might be a little bit of offside about this, but I don't think he is. Martinelli does really, really well. Shoots. Well, they will look for a bit of offside about this, but I think he's on. It's a great save by Leno, but Saka's just there to follow it in. There might be a bit of offside about this. It's marginal. It's marginal. For me, this is the sort of offside that shouldn't be offside. These are the sort of offsides I'll never understand because I think the offside rule needs a bit of a rejig, really, because they're not... I only think you should be offside when the defence is trying to strategically make you offside. And if he's offside here, it's just pure luck. But looks offside, says Farah. I think he might be on, but it's given. Wow, that was fast. I've never seen it so fast. What's going on there then? Draw the line, says Candy. Saham sold Kuna and Saka this week on FPL. I don't even know what I'm doing on my FPL. I'll have to have a look. I've got the Spurs-Bournemouth game that I can keep you updated on as well. But it's 1-0 to Arsenal here. And it's... I've got 23 points. I've had a shit week. Is Mo Salah playing tomorrow, or is he left already? Well, we haven't even seen a replay of that offside. which is interesting. So we've not seen that offside. Salah is playing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I'm looking at my team, right? Some of you might have fallen foul of this. So Salah's got a red exclamation mark, international duty, unknown return. Hwang Hee-chan has got international duty, unknown return. And so has Son. But they're all playing. So I think they've messed up there. Don't know what that's all about. Anyway, I'm not doing very well. Oh, it's for the next game week. I've got to make some big changes in mine. But I'll wait a bit. Uh, 52 points for Sada. Well done. Sada. I nominate Sada. If you know what that's from, you're a goat. I nominate Sada. No days off, Mark, says Marcus. Well, I didn't do anything on That's Football yesterday. I was proper hungover yesterday. Oh, I don't... You know what? Friday night, had some family round. Right, red wine. Alvino did flow. And I'm better at keeping tabs on drinking lager. Or than I am like red wine. Or tonight I'll be on the old spiced rum. Spiced rum tonight. But it's dangerous when you can't keep tabs on it. Red wine equals a bad headache. I'm normally all right on it, Nexus, but yeah, I had a bad headache yesterday. And then United played Forest, which was which was a red wine again. I was whining, and Man United wear red. You get it? So I had 2 nights on the red wine. It's New Year in Australia, by the way. Happy New Year. I like Bailey's in my coffee, Linda. Happy New Year. Happy New... Anyway, we should have got the party started. Come on, it's Happy New Year time. So, 1-0 to Arsenal. We still haven't seen the offside. Goal! Goal for Spurs. We've got a goal at Spurs. Is it Sarr who scored it? Edge of the box. 1-0 to Spurs. Bournemouth keeper just gifted them a goal. Well, it's back of the netto. If you know, you know. But it was Sarr who scores. And... goal for Spurs. Solid Blake's doing nothing tonight. Mate, you know what? I sort of envy you in a way. It was a bad kick out by Neto. Very similar to the Forest goal yesterday, to the goal United scored yesterday. And it's a good finish by Sarr, though, from the edge of the box. I think Lo Celso got the assist, by the way. But it's a good finish, but I think the goalkeeper's in a bad position as well. He left a lot of his goal open there. So, Neto... Lovely finish, though, by Sarr. Nice and low. So both NLD clubs, North London, clubs are in front. Yeah, HPN says, what was Neto doing there? As we leave 2023, I do want to just focus in on this. It's something I and you have been discussing on and off for the last few months. The volume of goals that are now being conceded by, and Brighton are terrible at it, the volume of goals that get conceded now from playing out from the back. New nickname for you should be UB40, says Chris. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. Appreciate that from Chris and from Seb the Sweat, who says, hi, Mark. Do you know how I can watch Spurs versus Bournemouth? Says Seb the Sweat. I don't, but I'm pretty sure there'll be somebody in the chat who can. I just want to say Happy New Year to you, Mark, and to the community, says Dougie. Well, happy birthday to you as well. Happy New Year, sorry, to you as well. Hi, Mark. What do you think of Nagelsmann? Says David. Is he not managing Germany at the moment? So is an irrelevance there. I'm very nervous about the idea that Southgate could be the next Man United manager. That simply can't happen, says Nico. Look, if anyone wasn't watching the United stand half an hour ago, if Man United give the job to Gareth Southgate, I will be Southgate out from the very first game, and I will keep saying it every game afterwards. I will not give him a chance. I'm that firm against it. There'll be no giving him any time. I'm just warning everybody. If they give Southgate the job, the very first video is Southgate out. I don't care if he beats Liverpool 4-0. I'm Southgate out. Just not having it. There's some things in life that you just have to be firm on. You know, some people won't have a pineapple on pizza. I respect that. I will not have Southgate as England manager, as Man United manager. Happy New Year, Mark and family. Have a good one. To you as well, Man United fan for life. Appreciate that. Someone in the chat said it'll be funny. What? It will be funny. First game of the season, we beat, I don't know, Bournemouth 3-0 at Old Trafford. Southgate out. I'll do it every bloody week. I don't care. I think a lot of people will agree as well. There's no way he is a top manager. Like, I'm sorry, there's just no way he is good enough to manage. I don't think he's good enough to manage Everton. With all due respect to Everton, I don't think he is. Anyway, going back to the football, yeah, I don't know when the next evolution of football happens, but it's ridiculous the amount of goals that are being conceded by the ability of teams to press well now. Passing out from the back is good, and it does work, but it's becoming less reliable with teams pressing better. So the next evolution of football has got to be to at least have a plan B and be able to, win the ball higher, go long sometimes. Because that goal that Bournemouth have just conceded is a carbon copy of the goal that Forest conceded yesterday. Goalkeepers playing, I don't mind goalkeepers playing out from the back, but when they play it central, it just makes you take a breath. Which is why Onana played so well in the Champions League final, because he played loads of those passes really well all the time. Southgate at United equals Maguire permanent deal. Happy New Year, Mark. Thank you for everything, says Iraqi. Thank you very much, pal. Ooh, good shot there. Jimenez, straight at the keeper, though. Liverpool fans moaning about how quick that took. How dare they not take 5 minutes to check it, says 58 go. But you know what? We haven't even seen it yet. Has anybody seen it yet? If you're in a different country, maybe you've seen it, because Sky, I don't think have shown it yet. I'd get Southgate in, I'd be outside protesting with you, says Liverpool 32 Red. Happy New Year, Mark, says Zach. Happy New Year, pal. I wasn't going to do this game today, but I'm actually quite happy I've done it. They're both quite good games. No, nobody has seen the replay of the Saka goal with the lines yet. Look, I'm pretty sure he's going to be onside, but it would be nice to see it. What you got plans tonight, Mark? Well, I've got a game called Outsmarted. I don't know whether anyone's played it. We've been playing it a lot over Christmas, and I don't mind board games, but this is really good. It's sort of like a cross between Trivial Pursuit and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's all technology based, so that's really good. So we're going to play a bit of that. Might go and play a bit of pool, because I've got a pool table. Drinks. I've got a buffet. So yeah, might go down the pub a little bit. So yeah, just don't put any labels on it at the end of the day. Hi Mark, I wish you and your family a happy new year. Your streams are always funny and entertaining. Keep it up, says Paul. I think the worst New Year's Eve I've ever had, well, I probably had worse, but the worst New Year's Eve I had going out was probably around the late 90s. The Checkers pub, Cropple Bishop, was the place to be on New Year's Eve if you were in or around that vicinity. And it started to die off a little bit in the early noughties. So it must have been about 2001, 2002. Actually, I think it was about 2003. We were down the Checkers, and it was about 10 to midnight, and it was busy, but it wasn't as good as previous years. And then someone said, "Oh, such and such is having a house party. Let's go up there." What's the time? I said. They said, oh, it's 10 to. And it takes about 5 minutes to walk up to their house. So I said, all right, let's go. Quick, let's go. Anyway, on the way up there, we can hear people celebrating New Year. And I'm like, it's bloody... I never wear a watch. Anyway, we got to this house party at 5 past midnight. So we basically missed New Year. The house party was shit, and we ended up going back down to the pub. But it used to be good in the 90s, the late 90s, down the Chequers, because it wasn't really the mobile phone era. You know, wireless meant that you'd cut your wire off your phone. And they'd always get New Year wrong. They'd always get it wrong. Do you think there's any future? And it was always that, you know, if you're ever in a busy pub for New Year, it's always that timing of whether you go to the bar to get a drink or whether you go for a piss. The amount of times I'd be out and then someone would be like, where's Dave? Where's Dave? He's at the bar. And you'd look up and see him and go, 1 minute. And you're like, you've got 30 seconds, Dave. Oh, I don't want to lose my place at the bar. Or you go for a piss. Where's Dave? He's having a piss. He's not going to make it back. He's not going to make it back. People get really stressed. Do you think there's any future for the football tactic the Flamingo coach is playing, overloading the area where the ball is, says Esto? I think football... You know, I've read a lot of books over the years about the changing styles of football, and, you know, there was these eras, weren't there, of total football in the 70s. Then we had really sort of the late 80s, 90s, where the Italian systems dominated. And obviously for the last 10 years, it's been very much the Pep system, hasn't it? I've said before, I would like to see an evolution of football where we focus a little bit more on individualism. I think everybody's focused on pass, move, play between the lines, structure, organisation. But what's the best way of defeating that? By taking people on. Oh, Willian, I thought he'd scored there. Onto his right foot. Talal says, I saw your podcast where you talked about mental health and that you struggle sometimes as well. This community is here for you. Love, says Talal. Thank you very much. Well, I think we all do. I don't think anybody doesn't have, you know, down days. And yeah, I appreciate that. And thanks for being part of the community. Talal, thank you very much. You're a legend. Thanks very much. Paul says, I wish you and your family a happy new year. Your streams are always funny and entertaining. I think I've done that one from Paul before, but thank you very much, Paul. So Arsenal leading 1-0. Spurs are leading 1-0. But I'd say Bournemouth and Fulham are still very much in these games. Hi, Mark. Can't believe we're linked with Southgate, says Rob. No, I just won't have it. Fulham have done all right going forward, though. I tell you what, hipsters don't like it, but Paulina does just remind me of Michael Carrick a lot. I don't care whether, you know, they can get the little stats out. They can go, he's nothing like him. But I watched Michael Carrick live for 10 years. And every time I watch Paulina, he just reminds me a lot of Carrick. I don't know whether it's the height thing and the fact that he comes and takes the ball off the back four, but he really does remind me of Carrick. I'm going to get clipped up again, but I can't help what I see. Willian again. He's had a shot. But the thing is, again, Michael Carrick signed for Manchester United in 2006 and was at his best in 2010. That's 13 years ago. So some of these hipsters who are like 21, you know, they're telling me about Carrick when they were watching him when he was 8. Should that have been a penalty? It's one of those where he's come from behind. I don't think it is a penalty. I don't think they'd overrule it. But love the content, Marky Mark. Heard rumours my cousin is linked to Man United. If it happens, please be nice to him. Victor, I can't pronounce the surname, Hank. Thanks for your super chat, though. Lots of people very, very nice today. Good to see. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. I don't know what we're doing for subscribers, but we're on the road to 84,000. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. We're only 300 away. We could do it today. Next watch-along is tomorrow night between Liverpool and Newcastle. Really looking forward to that. Always nice to start the new year with a big game. And they've got FA Cup weekend next weekend, which I'm actually really looking forward to because you've got Liverpool-Arsenal on the Sunday. Obviously, Newcastle are playing Sunderland, but there's some interesting games in the FA Cup. I wish the FA Cup was better. You know, I'm lying to you in a bit because the FA Cup ain't that good, but as it used to be. But I think there's some interesting games. It's massive for United. I think it's massive for a lot of teams this year. I think there'll be certain clubs that can do without it. Probably Arsenal, but Man City. I think it's a problem with the eye with David Raya here. Man United will take it very seriously. Fozzie's gone to the game today. Just saw Aaron Ramsdale. Fozzie's at the game today. Ben Foster has gone down to watch Fulham, Arsenal. Happy New Year, Mark, from Tim and family. Enjoying the Glazers and adventure here in Iceland. Glacius and Glaze adventures here in Iceland for New Year. All the best. Sounds fantastic, Whack. Hope you have a good time. Blood says, I'm a 47-year-old Liverpool fan and feel what you're going through. We had the 30 years of hurt. Keep believing, mate. It comes to an end. Yeah, you know what, Bloodlaw? You're not the first person to say that. A lot of Liverpool fans have said that. You know, and it was a long time for Liverpool, wasn't it? Yeah, well, there's the Saka goal, but there's nobody. I want to see the lines on the offside, please. We've seen a lot of angles, but I think Ten Hag's biggest mistake was signing Onana. I can't understand Mount. He can be Bruno's replacement. He can understand it, but Onana in for De Gea, I don't get. Says Weekend Getaway. And do you think Xavi could go to Liverpool next? Says Connor. Xavi Alonso, yes. Yes. Yeah, I think that's the most logical move for him. Although I think what Xavi Alonso might do after Leverkusen is he might go and do a Spanish club. I'm not talking Barcelona, Real Madrid. He might get the Bayern Munich job. He might take a big Italian job. Or he might take like a Spurs or something like that. So I don't know whether Xavi Alonso's next job will be Liverpool. I think he might do another job before that. Beck says, I can't believe we haven't seen the lines for that offside yet. Well, he's obviously onside, but we haven't seen the lines. Remember, well, Liverpool fans, remember when you were going to get fucking Gerrard? That was the biggest laugh. Apparently he was linked with Madrid before Ancelotti got the job, says Jack. Son's in here. Let's see what happens. Went for the shot himself. I think he needed the cross there from Brennan Johnson, but it wasn't there. And isn't Steven Gerrard about to get the sack in Saudi as well? And as a follow-on to that, says Connor, who do you think is the most exciting manager right now in the game? My European football knowledge is not what it used to be pre-COVID, so, you know, I know there's people out there who obsess about it, and I would bow down to their greater knowledge. I'm not up to date with who the big managers are coming through at the moment. Obviously, I'm aware of Alonso. There was a time when people used to speak about the sporting coach a lot, but that, I don't know whether his time's passed. Arsenal win the league if they sign Tony in January, says Jay. Not necessarily. No, I don't think that's... I think Arsenal need to buy a striker, but I don't think that makes them the complete unit. Liverpool 32 Red says, Xavi will go to Madrid after Ancelotti, I bet you. Did Southgate coach a club team, says Stefan? Yes, he coached Middlesbrough and got them relegated. Do you reckon Zidane or Bielsa would do better at United? Says 58 Go. I don't think that... I don't think Bielsa would work at Man United. I think he works with a certain collection of players who want to work hard, so he would not work at Man United. Zidane, I don't think would work at Man United because he wouldn't want to. But I also don't think that Zinedine Zidane is the right manager for Man United. I mean, Zidane is a coach that, you know, won 3 Champions Leagues in a row with some of the best players in the world. He won't find that at Manchester United. Bloodlaw says, Man United are doing what we did at Liverpool. You are buying big players, hoping it will work. Get the right players, then get a couple of big signings to complete the team. Don't buy a couple of big players. It will never work. I completely agree. Very, very good comment. Very, very good comment. Half an hour gone here. In both games, 1-0. Tottenham at home, of course, but Arsenal are away to Fulham. That early goal, or early goals for big teams always makes a big difference. Little teams want to grow into the game. And Fulham are chasing the game a little bit here. Lovely cross. Goal. There it is. What a cross. And I've got to say, Willian is doing what Willian does. Basically, massively inconsistent all season, and then can turn it on when there's a new contract in town or he's playing against his ex-clubs. It's a great goal by Fulham. And it all starts off with Palina. Steps in, wins the ball, gets it to Willian. Willian drives down the line. Cross comes in. Jimenez finishes it well. It's a lovely goal. It's a lovely goal by Fulham. Not a lot Arsenal can do. Matt says, if Man United get Southgate, end me now. I can't cope. See, there's Palina again, just mopping up, playing the little pass. Like Carrick. Cross comes in. Jimenez finishes. And I was just talking about the importance of the early goal for the big team, but it's sort of forced Fulham to go on the front foot a bit. And Jimenez, it's nice to see Jimenez scoring goals again. I remember before he had his bad injury at Wolves, 5 goals in his last 7 Premier League games. He doesn't play like Carrick. Oh, I love hipsters. Doesn't play like Carrick. I've studied the stats. Nyeh. He reminds me of Carrick. I'm sorry. I know it's, I'm unorthodox. He reminds me of Carrick in the sense of how he just mops up in front of the back 4 and gets the ball and sets the attacks. What Carrick didn't really do is, he's more aggressive in the tackle than Carrick. But I still think the way he protects the back 4 is similar. I think it's the height. He's going to be a good signing. Can you do that again, Mark? What, the hipsters? Yeah, I've been studying the passing lanes and inverted fullbacks. I think the next big thing in football is going to be inverted goalkeepers. Yeah. Mark, why do you want Arsenal to win? I don't. I think Palina will be a great signing for whoever goes for him. I know Bayern Munich were interested. Mark, should United get Benzema? Absolutely not. This is the point where Arsenal wheels fall off, says Joe. Apparently, Sarr's got injured in the Spurs game. I'll keep you updated on that one. But he is going to go to the AFCON as well. Basuma will go to the AFCON. He's currently suspended anyway. Son's going to go to the Asia Cup. So Spurs are going to lose a lot of players. So it's important for them to keep clocking up the points, really. Mark, not just in footy, but all major sports. How do you feel about coaches trying to be too smart for themselves rather than doing what wins, says Alex. I think you can overcomplicate football. I think football is such a simple sport. Med says, Arsenal, Saka loses the ball and Arsenal concede a goal. No, I think Sarr is injured here. He's just coming off. Got Calvin Klein pants on. There's some free advertising for you. Bloody hell. Well done to Fulham to get back in this game, though. Big credit to them. Very good goal. Test of Arsenal's metal now. Yeah, but Willian's so funny. Can you remember, I think it was COVID. Can you remember when Willian, he was coming at the end of his contract with Chelsea? And he was like world class for about 2 months. It was when, you remember when COVID stopped football and then it came back in the June? He was absolutely world class for Chelsea for about 2 months. Got his move to Arsenal, was shit. And then he is the classic player, Willian, who can turn it on like a tap and then turn it off. The Rothschilds are Liverpool fans and they planted Scotty on us, says Rican. The problems at United are on the board, the lazy players and ultimately the owners for caring more about money than winning. It's not Eric's fault, says Rob. How's your FPL going, says Dara. I think I'm on about 30 points, not that well. This is the point where Arsenal wheels are going to fall off, says Joe Hart. Mark, we've done that one. Do you think the PGMOL should be reviewed, says Giorgio. Yes. Okay, we're all up to date with those. Thank you. Thank you very much. So 1-0 still to Spurs against Bournemouth. They're at home, but it's 1-1 here between Arsenal and Fulham. And it's been a good game. I've played the game. And I tell you, I've played the game. It's been a good game, Gary. They're in again here, Fulham. They're definitely up for it, Fulham. They're playing with some real ambition and energy. This game actually is I don't want to upset Arsenal fans, but this game is reminding me a little bit of the Anfield game where you started off well, you got the goal, and then Liverpool equalised, and that was that. The momentum never came back. I don't think Ben White's the solution at right back for you either. I was talking about this the other day. Any stories from being a policeman on New Year's Eve, says Jet? I always had it off. Not sexually, but I never worked a New Year's Eve, and I never worked a Christmas Day. I've played the game. I've played the game. I was always there to book it off. I've played the game. Busy enough all year round without working fucking New Year's Eve. No, thank you very much. Never worked New Year's Eve. Super Marzi says, I don't like Ben White at right back. He's a centre-back. I don't think Arsenal's fullbacks are good enough. Arnie Slot, Xavi and Ruben Amaron are young managers I think are being called up and comers, says JD. What about Will Salt? Has he stopped now? I know he's carried on, but is he not the next big thing anymore? Bloodlaw says, I've watched you for about 5 years, mainly when you lose. Of course, Liverpool fan. I understand what you say about sacking the manager, but Klopp took over in decline and cleaned house in the summer. Yeah, it needs to happen. Do you glee Arsenal have to sign a left-back in January, says Daniel. If I was Arsenal, if I was in charge of Arsenal, I would sign, and I could buy 4 players. I would buy another midfielder to play next to Rice, who's more of an 8. I would buy a right back and a left back and a striker, and then I think you're done. I think you've got everything you need then. But I don't think your fullbacks give you enough. You know, you look at what Trent and Robertson give you. I don't think the fullbacks do enough. Arteta, says Zane. They'll be at it. They'll be at it. Arsenal fans are odd. They're odd. Not all Arsenal fans, but some Arsenal fans are odd. It's like they revel in being not good enough. Can you rank the Harry Potters, Mark? Says Sin. No. I haven't watched them for years. I'll tell you my favourite one was Prisoner of Azkaban. It's probably my favourite one. I'm going to watch them again this year. There's no point watching them at the start of the year, though, because they are quite autumnal, I think. Happy New Year to all, says Cormac. And Nicholas Walker says, I'd argue Willian is the player with the greatest performance ceiling compared to his average game. Frustrating to watch, even as a Spurs fan. Nicholas, you know, Willian, on his day, is absolutely fantastic. But he's a typical winger. Ashley Young used to be like that. No, Ashley Young didn't have a ceiling as high as Willian, but sometimes Ashley Young would have games where you were like, oh my God, I get it. And then for the rest of the month, it was crap. Any club you've got a soft spot, says Victor. I think it changes season to season because obviously a soft spot for a team, if it's a consistent thing, that means you may as well bloody support them. So at the moment, I think the team that I've probably got a bit of a soft spot for is Brighton. I mean, I want Villa to do well because they're... they're defying the odds. I wanted Leicester to do well that year as well. My country is in the Asia Cup. We're facing Son, says Yusuf. And who, in your opinion, should you not? I wouldn't say I've got no interest, but I've got no knowledge of how the Asia Cup works. And I can't say I'll be keeping an eye on the AFCON either. I was interested in the AFCON about 10 years ago. And I used to do quite a lot of football accumulators, betting-wise. So I included AFCON ones, and that was a mistake. Isn't the AFCON where the referee stopped the game after 87 minutes? Just decided that was 90. Who, in your opinion, should United target, not based on rumours, but by your preferences, Bodie? A free kick on the edge of the box here for Bournemouth. You know what? I can tell you what 4 players I'd sign for Arsenal, but at United I can't tell you who we should prioritise because I just don't. I think the problems are so deep at United. I don't think there's just one player that I'd target. I think there's just so many problems at Man United that it's hard to know where to start. Arteta is not good enough to win the Premier League or the Champions League. If this squad had a proven winning manager, they would have won the Premier League last season. Says Steph. I disagree. I don't know where Arsenal fans get the delusion of grandeur from. You haven't won the league since 2004, and suddenly Arteta would be winning the league if you change your manager. I don't get that Arsenal fan mentality. I've played the game, I've watched the game, and Arsenal have been nowhere near winning the Premier League for 20 years. They've never won the Champions League. And then you listen to some Arsenal fans going, if we didn't have Arteta, we'd have won the league last year. You know, and I'm like, Who are you? You're a big club. You're a big club, but you're not that. And you've not been that. And he's the closest that's taken you to that. Even Wenger couldn't do it in the last few years. So I think Arteta's doing a good job at Arsenal. I don't think it's appreciated. And he might never win you the league, because you might not win the league. The competition is fraught and full of danger. Nice play here, Odegaard. This would be a great goal if they score it. As a team goal, that would have been fantastic. Saka, Rice, Odegaard, Martinelli. I don't know whether Martinelli should have took this on. I think it might have been better off being left to Saka. Yeah, that would have been better for Saka. Look at Saka running onto this on his left foot. This is a goal. Martinelli just puts it wide. Mario G says, which club do you think would be stupid enough to take Martial next summer once his contract at United runs out? I don't think it'll be European. I think the best place he could go is Saudi Arabia. LJM says, it's embarrassing how much they want to be City. And Yusuf says, buzzing for my country, haven't been in Asia's Cup for ages. And Soft Sorry, thank you very much for your super chat. Be a good result for Spurs if they do it, because I think Bournemouth are a good side. Same for Arsenal. If they get the win here, it'll be a good result. Fulham are a good team. They're definitely up for it. Bournemouth till I die. Oh my God, I don't miss that, Zetty. I don't miss the AFC at all, actually. Kevin De Bruyne was back on the bench for Man City yesterday, and I think Haaland will be back soon. Reef says, who would you replace Southgate with as England manager? Well, personally, I think my milkman could do a better job. So, you know, the options are rich. But I feel that I probably would like... I mean, I wouldn't mind Potter getting the job because he's better than Southgate. I wouldn't mind Eddie Howe getting the job if it happens at the right time. But I don't necessarily think we need to go English. I don't know why we can't go for someone like Mourinho. Which European team do you like outside the Premier League and why? I like Juventus, Matomi, because they wear black and white, and Notts County is obviously from where I'm from, and that's why they wear black and white. So it's nice that they have that connection. I also really like Italian football. But I also like Sampdoria because I used to love them when Mancini and Vialli were there. That's probably it. I don't really think... I like watching football, but the Italian league was the one I really liked. Bloodlaw says, I know you watch all the games on this channel. Do you think Liverpool get screwed the amount of 12 PM kickoffs we have? I haven't really noticed, mate. Dewey took his Christmas tree down today. I don't understand taking it down on New Year's Eve. I don't understand. My opinion is keep it up till the 6th, which is next Saturday, isn't it? Is it next Saturday, the 6th? Yeah. I think you may as well keep it up to the 6th because when it's down, isn't it? Keep it up for as long as possible. That was my... it's always been my motto. Ross took it down on the 27th and his house looks better, less clutter. Just Keevan's still listening to Christmas songs. I find Christmas songs a little bit difficult to do after the 26th. Yeah, I'll put my hand up there. I think Christmas films and Christmas music after the 26th is difficult, but I like the tree and the lights. They're a nice backdrop. Do Fulham have the worst badge in football, says Brad. Mate, this is something in 2024, resolutions football-wise. I need to understand club badges more. I'm shit on it. Really bad. Cheers for everything in 2023, Mark, and all the entertainment, raising for charity and everything in between. Here's to a peaceful and fruitful 2024, says Lee. Well, it all starts again, doesn't it? I mean, we'll have the charity stream back in November. Hopefully we can top that 50k again. Going back on tour again next year. I've actually got some plans to do my own tour, which fits in with a project I'm working on, which will work quite well. Podcast as well. We want to take that on tour, United Stand. So could be on tour a bit next year. Super Bowl, Watchalong. Always look forward to that in February. Martinelli's in the box though. So yeah, loads to look forward to. And I definitely want to get into more of my content again, like driving with Goldbridge, cooking with Goldbridge, that sort of stuff. So loads to get involved in. Someone says, can you show us the hoodie? It looks clean. It is a nice hoodie. I got this for Christmas last year. I like these colours, the gold and the white and the black. I've got a tracksuit in it as well. Will you ever do Formula 1 stuff again, says James. If Formula 1 gets good again, I'll do watch-alongs again, but it's not been good, has it? Do you think you'll bring FC24 back, Mark, says Yannick? I think I will. Keep an eye out. Who's the most underrated player in the Premier League at the moment, says Seth. Underrated player for me is probably Salah. I just don't think he's rated as highly as he should be. I know he's rated, but I don't think he gets rated as one of the best players in the world. Someone needs to interview you, says Nick. They don't want to do it, mate. They're all too bitter. Bournemouth on the back post here. 7 minutes added on. Solanke onto the bar. Bournemouth are like me tonight. Off the bar. Hitting the bar. Would have been better. Should have thought that one through. Hitting the bar. Half time in the Arsenal game. It's 1-1. Good game. Arsenal Fulham's a good game. Someone says, how's the game going? It's been a good game. Very, very good game. And Bournemouth against Spurs has been good as well. It's amazing. It's absolutely pissing it down in the Spurs game. You know what? It's been really wet this Christmas. Really, really wet. Wetter than a submarine's number plate. Wet Christmas. I've just seen the most weird thing ever. Somebody's put a tweet out saying, it's all starting to make sense. Recent reports have indicated that Scott McTominay comes from a wealthy family background with strong football connections. Some say it's his mum who is related to the former Man United boss. Oh, God. Let's... Conspiracy theories are funny, aren't they? Bournemouth on the attack. They're all over Spurs here at the moment. We've seen this happen a lot. We've seen this happening a lot, haven't we? Sorry, I've just lost my live chat there. Done that one. What is worse for you? Liverpool win the league, same number of titles, or Man City 4 on a trot, says Bloodlaw. Well, I'm not even thinking about it. Thomas, any news on the rescheduled Birmingham gig? We didn't do Thomas, I was just presenting it. I didn't organise it. It was Showfighter, so we're sort of in their hands, really. It wasn't every other show we've done, we organised it, but that wasn't anything to do with us, so I've got no update on that, unfortunately. I was looking forward to it. It was a shame. Can we do team of the season so far, says TJ? You can do. More than happy to do that. We'll start in a minute. People are saying wetter than this, wetter than that. What do you think about Mbappe to Liverpool, says Sean? I don't think it will happen. Do you think Ipswich will stay up if promoted, says Nick? I think whoever comes up from the Championship next year really does need to look at the mistakes of Burnley and plan better. You can't smash the Championship and come into the Premier League and think you're going to stay up. The gap's getting bigger and bigger. I mean, look, I was having this chat with Ben Foster this morning. In fact, let's get a bit interactive on this. Interested to see what you think. Will Luton stay up? Yes or no? That's a starter for 10. Mark, this is worrying. Looks like Arteta has no ideas left. The players look tired and have no desire, says Charlie. But what would I rather Liverpool win the league or Man City win the league? Look, part of me says I'd rather Man City win the league because they haven't won as many titles as us, but 4 in a row is pretty fucking dominant. Would I rather Liverpool win the league? They're our biggest rival. And obviously they'd equal our 20 times. There's more credibility to Liverpool winning the league. It's a harder thing for them to do. If Liverpool weren't Man United's biggest rival, I'd say Liverpool. And also, you know what? It disgusts me that Man City won the treble and we did nothing about it. So we need to stop clinging on to these fucking records like they mean anything. They don't mean anything to the Glazers. It's the fans that suffer. So all this 20 times stuff, we've already lost the fucking treble to Manchester City. I mean, 20 times is probably what we fucking deserve. And also, if they don't do it this year, maybe they'll do it next year anyway. Like United's, we've got to stop these records being taken on the pitch. The fans can't. We can't stop them by praying, please don't let Man City win the treble. Please don't let, you stop people winning you taking your mess. You stop people doing it by doing that. But by playing well on the pitch. They're still playing in the Bournemouth game against Spurs here. They've played 8 minutes. Eight minutes. They've done now. Anyway, I want to come back to this Luton thing because a lot of people are starting to say that Luton might stay up. It's so annoying how many minutes they are adding on now at the end of the first half. How many extra games are players playing if you add up stoppage, says BSC. Oh, yeah, I may have been a big fan of that. Who are your 5 Ballon d'Or contenders for the future, says Savannah? Bellingham would be one of them. There's somebody else I was thinking about the other day. I'll have to think on that one. Dybala's clause is 13 million, yes or no, says Zeno. Don't know that Dybala's the right player for Manchester United, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah. Half time there. Thank you very much. So, what I was going to say about Luton is, did you watch the Old Firm yesterday? No, I didn't. Sorry, I'm doing a bit of work here on the United Stand stuff to trying to find some information out. I shouldn't be doing this on New Year's Eve. It's like bloody Christmas Eve again. I couldn't believe that. It was about this time last week, Christmas Eve. I'd finished for Christmas. Drive up to my sister's, get to my sister's, check my phone. You'll never believe it. They're about to announce Sir Jim at 4 o'clock on Christmas Eve. I said, if you're joking, you're fired. They said, we're not joking. It's very serious. So I was like, oh my Christ. Why are Man United constantly putting shit out on New Year's Eve? I don't know. Apparently, Varane is not going to have his contract renewed by Manchester United. They're going to sell him in January, which is just, McTominay survives, but Varane goes. Incredible. Who is better manager? No bullshit. Howe or Eric, says Bloodlaw. Mate, I'll do a poll on that in a minute because recency bias, people might say Eddie Howe, but Eddie Howe's doing worse than Ten Hag. So you've got to go and look at their general career. Eddie Howe's done a great job at Newcastle. Ten Hag did a great job at United in his first year, and he took Ajax to a Champions League semi-final. So I genuinely think Ten Hag's a better coach than Eddie Howe, but I think it would be quite close. Newcastle are in big trouble, by the way. I said this on the podcast. Newcastle are in big trouble. I said at the start of the season, I'm not convinced Eddie Howe will be the manager of Newcastle next season. And I got pelters for it. I said, there's no way Newcastle are going to have Dan Burn, Eddie Howe, Callum Wilson, Sean Langstaff as part of their team in the next 18 months. They've all done a great job to take them to a certain point, and they'll bin it off. I've seen it before. Blackburn Rovers were in League One. They used certain players to get to the Premier League, and then in the Premier League, they used certain players to win the Premier League. Man City did exactly the same. Man City used certain players to get them to top four, and then got rid of them and brought certain players in to win the league, and then certain players to win a treble. Newcastle are not going to use Eddie Howe, Callum Wilson, Sean Longstaff, and Dan Burn to win the Premier League. They will evolve. That will happen. Newcastle fans are right to be protective of those people because they have played a big part. But when you want to go to the next level, you will get rid of them. And Newcastle are in big problems. Yes, they've had injuries, but they're not the only club. De Zerbi's had terrible injuries at Brighton. Man United have had injuries. Spurs have had injuries. Chelsea have had injuries. You can't hide behind that. Newcastle have got Liverpool tomorrow, where they'll lose, I think. Man City at home, where they'll lose, I think, and then Villa away, where they'll lose. I think they're gonna lose their next 3 Premier League games, and if they lose against Sunderland next week, I mean, they're out of all the trophies. They're going to be mid-table. I think there'll be questions asked. Money, how much have they spent? Not even close, says Bloodlaw. And what's been your favourite game you've done a watch-along for on That's Football this season, says Hessen. Oh, you know what, mate? I consume so much football that it's... I dump it. I do. And I think that... I don't know. Chelsea City was a very good game, Eric. Yeah. Sorry, I could hear some vacuuming, and I wondered what it was all about. Anyway, look, I've got to do that. I've got to do that Howe versus Ten Hag poll for you now. But Saka was offside, says Fabian. Well, we still haven't seen it. Do you think Luton will stay up? 55% of you have said yes, and 45% of you have said no. I think that Luton will not stay up, and I'm going to tell you why, and then we'll do the Ten Hag thing. I don't think that Luton will stay up for a very simple reason. Who goes down? It's not going to be Bournemouth. It's not going to be Nottingham Forest. It's not going to be Everton. So who is going to go down? That's the problem. Who is going to go down? The only team I think could fall into it is Brentford. Fulham won't go down either. So, like, the problem that Luton have got, and Burnley and Sheffield United, is that I don't see anybody. They're all too experienced. Like Bournemouth, Wolves, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Forest, Brentford, Everton. I think they're all too experienced. And remember, Everton are only fourth from bottom because of the 10-point thing. So I think Luton are doing a great job, but I just don't see anybody dropping down there. There's a few people saying Crystal Palace, maybe Brentford, but I just think that the problem Luton will have is that everybody else is just so experienced at staying up. I don't see Fulham going down. Fulham have got 22 points. They're 7 points ahead of Luton. Sheffield United will go down, yeah. Look, I hope we get a relegation battle because last year it was really interesting. Right, who's the better manager? Let's do this. Who's the better manager? Ten Hag or Eddie Howe? Get your comments in. He'll be top at Christmas, that is all. He'll be top at Christmas, that is all. I don't know why I'm singing that. I got it wrong. I said Liverpool. And they would have been if Trent hadn't hit the bar. We're just waiting for the second half to kick off here. Ultras. You're an ultra if you listen to Goldbridge Saves Football. So thanks everyone who supports that podcast. Got some big things coming up. I'll let you see, the people who don't listen to the podcast are going to start listening to the podcast in 2024 because the things we're about to do are going to take it to a whole new level. A whole new level. I like to go out like that with my hoodie. Basically, it's a new style I've got. You took your hood over your ears and then you just walk around like that. And if you wear your glasses, it's even better. Look like a nun. Look like Yoda. Listen to the podcast. It's going to be so good in 2024. Can you imagine what I'd look like? Bold. Put your ears back. I'm not really a hoodie person, really. Well, it doesn't look too bad like that, but I'm not really a hoodie person. I'm better with hair. Second half's about to start with Fulham. Who wins this? Which way you going? Second half starts. Not started in the Bournemouth game yet. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We are 200 subscribers away from 84,000. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. You're very welcome, as usual. I think January is a really interesting month of football, actually. Someone was moaning about, oh, we only played 2 games. And I was like, but there's loads of bloody football. Some good stuff. I think United have got 3 games at the moment in January. But that's just because of the way it falls. Like, you know, Liverpool will have more because they're playing on the 1st. I think the FA Cup is massive for a lot of teams. There's a bit of a Premier League winter break, but I like the way they do it because they split it, don't they? So half play one week and half play the other. What are your thoughts on Tranmere Rovers, says Josh? Not a lot. Liverpool Football Club, isn't it? It's in Liverpool. They used to be... It's Declan Rice. He wanted to shoot. He should have passed that ages ago to Odegaard. Stuttering football. Martinelli, again, wide. Tranmere Rovers is based in Liverpool, Super Marcy. I think they had a good time. Must be years ago. I'm sure John Aldridge played for them and used to score quite a few goals. Were they in League One at one point? Or the Championship? Maybe. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Tell you what, that would have been a hell of a meet and greet for Mrs. Goldbridge because she's getting ready for New Year's Eve and she's got her black dressing gown on, which I think's very nice. But you're not seeing any of that. Tranmere were in the Championship playoffs, says Standard. There we go. Still 1-0 between Liverpool, Spurs and Bournemouth. Do your best Yoda voice, please, Mark, says Will Saunders. I can't do Yoda. Fine one. Fine one, you are. What does he... I'll do it. I just don't know what he says. There is another. That's when he's dying. He sounds more like, there is another. So-called United problem outscores United in 2023, says Kunden. Tranmere is in Birkenhead, says Liverpool 32 Red. Well, the rest of the world think it's in Liverpool. Arsenal need to win this if they're going to be title contenders. Mince pie. I'll tell you what, I've not had many mince pies this year. That's only about my 4th one. Why is Lloris at Spurs? What's going on? Why is Lloris at Spurs? He's coming back. Max says, did you have a favourite board game when you were a kid? And did you like Subbuteo? Yes. I thought Lloris had gone already. You never left. What have they been doing with Lloris then? I thought he left in the summer. So, I've never played Risk Monkey, but apparently it's good. Why not make your Scottish team Aberdeen because of Sir Alex, says Aaron. Well, maybe it is. I've already told you about Sensible World of Soccer and Ian Jess. I'm more Aberdeen than I am Rangers or Celtic because you can't choose between Rangers and Celtic. Biggest mistake you can make as an influencer is get involved in that. Lloris is going to the MLS. He's been washed for a couple of years now. Yeah, Mario, I get the fact that he's going to the MLS, but I didn't realise he was still at Spurs. So they don't even put him on the bench. Aram says Ten Hag's been such a disappointment and it's expected more. I'm very surprised that 59% of people think that Eddie Howe's better than Ten Hag with 41%. I mean, I know Ten Hag's doing badly this season, but he won a cup and got us to 3rd place and took Ajax to a Champions League semi-final. I don't think he's a bad coach overnight, and I don't think Eddie Howe's a bad coach overnight, even though Newcastle are doing bad. I think Bournemouth are going to score in this game, you know. Ange kicked him into the youth team. I thought he'd left. I thought he left in the summer. The question is, who will last longer, Eddie Howe or Ten Hag? I personally think that Ten Hag might last longer. I love football. I love these football conversations. The intricacies of football. Yeah. Yeah, can't believe it. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Can't believe Goldbridge has an audience. Yeah. He's talking about Polina being like Carrick. Yeah. Next thing he'll be saying, Messi's like Albrighton. Mark, rather spend New Year's Eve with Mr. Bean or the Glazers? Says, but definitely Mr. Bean. Have you? Funny, he's funny. I love the way Martinelli takes up the half space. Oh, I've got to stop now. I sound like a neighing donkey, which I don't think they can do. It is cringe, hyper protagonist. It's an impression, and it's a cringy one. That's my real voice. Yeah. I talk like that normally. I'm putting this one on. I was talking to Watto today, who does the podcast with us on the Football Fill-In, and he went to watch Villa on yesterday, but he went to watch Birmingham on Friday, and he said the Birmingham game was way more enjoyable because VAR is ruining live football. And I said, but I've been saying this for ages. Like, you've got a real problem. You've got a real problem with football when... You've got a real problem with the brand Premier League when VAR is ruining football as a spectacle. It's true. When VAR isn't on, it's a better game. Bloodlaw says, one big question you always say, it's not one player, but you do not like McTominay, so why all the managers pick him? Explain, please, says Bloodlaw. I don't know. Mate, I genuinely don't know. I've been watching football for 40 years, and I've seen countless young players at United better than McTominay. Kieran Richardson, Chris Eagles, Danny Welbeck, Alanga. They're all better than McTominay, and yet he survives every one. It's amazing. And we'll have fans in here who support other clubs. Would you like Scott McTominay at your club? And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. You know, if someone's over-promoted, it's not their fault. It's the people who promote them. You probably work in jobs and go, why has that person got a job here? Why is that person doing that? I used to see it in the police all the time. The amount of people that were like sergeants and inspectors, and you wouldn't let them, you know, change your bloody trainers. I don't know what that means. Over-promotion is the problem, and I don't know why Scott McTominay gets treated the way he does at Man United, but it's not his fault. But he does symbolise the problem in the sense that the manager picks him, so it's the manager's fault. He plays badly, so that's his fault. We don't sell him, that's the board's fault. And he gets picked because we don't bring in better players, that's the board, that's the owner's fault. So there's loads. Sorry. Just had a message from my brother-in-law there. Do I need to bring a blow-up bed? I'm glad he said bed. Have you seen the Villa penalty yesterday? What a joke, says Ken. I haven't seen it. Honestly, haven't seen it. Saliba's been excellent, says P. Haven't seen it. but apparently it wasn't a penalty. Who's the better... Eddie Howe's the better manager. I'm ending it. Hey, Mark. Happy New Year. Have a good one, says Tumbleweed. Well, thanks for all your super chats and Happy New Year messages today. VAR should only suggest in the monitor, nothing more, says Liverpool 32 Red. Well, look, what I will say is, as much as we've not seen Saka's onside goal lines drawn yet, I liked the way it was quick. They need to bring the speed back into football. Start, bench, sell, McTominay, Fellaini, Cleverley. Honestly, sell McTominay. What a miss by Richarlison. Oh my God. Timo Richarlison. That is a massive miss to put the game to bed when they're under pressure. That is really, really, really bad. It's a great break from Spurs. They've got a 3v3. Son would be getting assist points as well. You're a fucking idiot, Richarlison. That makes it even worse. That makes it even worse. That would have been Son assist points. You twat. You're an absolute twat, Richarlison. Anyway, you should have scored. But that might cost Spurs now because Bournemouth are all over them. You get that second goal, you probably get 3 points. Anyway, I would sell McTominay, I would bench Fellaini, and I would start Cleverley. Cameron, if you know, you know. Right, Rodri or Rice? Personally, Rodri is the best player in the world. Oh, easy, Cameron. Rodri's better than Rice. I like Rice, but it's definitely Rodri. Super Dan says, if we don't extend Varane's contract, it's like giving away your Ferrari but keeping your Skoda in the garage. Well, yeah, extending Lindelof but letting Varane go. Oh! Fulham! Well, I don't know whether they want a handball here. Now, we might get a VAR controversy. We might get one. If you want to get one of these mugs, by the way, United Stand Shopify. Arteta doesn't look happy. This is a big goal. This is a big goal. I'm telling you now. This is a big goal. This is a big goal. If this gets given, cross comes in from Willian. I don't see a handball there. I don't know what Gabriel's moaning about. Off Bryce's head. No, that's a goal. That's a goal. If there's any handball, I can't see a handball there. That's 2-1 Fulham. Oh, Arsenal. Oh, Arsenal. Fulham fan going like this at the Arsenal fans. Well, I think it is 2-1 and the goal's been given. This is a worry now. I'm just looking at the league table. Would Man United fans be prepared to allow 3 or 4 years of pure rebuilding if it meant you can challenge again at the top, says opinionated observer? Well, I think they have to, mate. I think you have to. Because what's the alternative? Another 10 years of abject failure? You know, it answers its own question, doesn't it? Would you take 3 or 4 years to be competing with the top? Of course we would. Emery's miles and miles clear of Arteta, says WM. It's mad. Arsenal just seem to be out of ideas. But I said it at the start of the game. I don't like it with Havertz in the midfield. Start, bench, sell. Rodri, Rice, Kimmich. Sell Rice, bench Kimmich, start Rodri, Paul. Hard though. Three very good players. Happy New Year, Mark. Any chance would you see you play Football Manager again? I'd love to, Palm. I just haven't had time. Here's a proposition for VAR. Limit it to just 1 minute. Any review over that would be deemed not clear and obvious, says Ben. Good idea. I like it. But we did say at the start of the game, didn't we? I said, looking at the Arsenal lineup, don't massively like Havertz and Odegaard in the same midfield, and don't think Nketiah is good enough. And you look at the balance of the game, Arsenal's only goal came from a shot that was saved and a tap-in by Saka. He just missed a sitter. The yearly Arteta collapse has come early. Says the HPN. Up the Villa. Nketiah is not good enough at this level, and I don't like the balance of their midfield. And you know what? Sometimes as football fans, you get ridiculed and you don't know what you're talking about. But I think football fans, especially football fans of clubs or football fans who watch a lot of clubs, you do see things. And I you know what? I'm sure you're the same as well. I've watched Man United all season. We pay Eric Ten Hag a lot of money. I've watched them all season. We don't create chances, and we concede loads of chances. Our midfield is completely imbalanced. We play one holding midfielder and 2 attacking midfielders, and we get done over game after game after game. And every fan can see it, apart from the manager. And I look at Arsenal, and they're meant to be more attacking. Arsenal remind me of a better version of Man United, actually. You've got Odegaard and Havertz to make you more attacking. How much attacking have they done in this game? It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. This obsession with having 2 attacking midfielders, and it doesn't actually transpond into chance after chance after chance. Question before was too easy to sack, bench, play McTominay and Arna Jones, says Bloodlaw. McTominay, I'd start Jones over all of those. I'd bench Arna and I'd sell McTominay. Hi, Mark. I think Ramsdale should be the starter again, says Gary. And Arsenal really misunderstood when Arteta said, bring your own bottle on New Year's, says Joe. It's a good one. It's a good one, Joe. It's made me laugh. Put a smile on my face. Eddie Nketiah has all the movements of Ironside. Do you think this is Arteta's message to the board for wanting a new striker, says Chris? And sorry, Mark, I meant to add if this meant no European football and the money that comes with it, says Opinionated Observer. Well, if it gets you where it needs to get you, it gets you there, doesn't it? Reflects badly on Havertz that he signed reflects badly on Arteta that he signed Havertz in a pivotal role for all that money on the gamble he could transform him, says Robbo96. I don't think the goalkeeper is the problem at Arsenal. I don't think the defence is the problem at Arsenal. I think they need better fullbacks. But the midfield balance is wrong, and Nketiah is not good enough. I've been saying it for ages, and I've had stick from Arsenal fans as well. There's nothing wrong. Look at the stats. 10 shots to both teams. 3 shots on target for both teams. The stats aren't that bad. But Arsenal should be doing more than that. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're only 100 subscribers away from 84,000. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Trossard and Jesus are coming on with about 25 minutes to go here. Happy New Year from everyone from Thailand, says David. I don't think it's everyone from Thailand. I think he's from Thailand. Yeah, I've put everyone in there myself. Havertz out, says Zane. Arteta out is an absolute joke, Tricks. It really is. Who do you think will replace Rodri, says Nick. Don't know, but they'll get someone good. He's kept Havertz on. He's took White and Martinelli off for Trossard and Jesus. They've got to attack. Happy New Year, Mark, says Ud. Thank you very much for being a member, mate. Get the badge in. Can City dominate again when De Bruyne returns, says Harry. Well, you'd expect them to. Arsenal should have bought a left-back instead of Havertz and moved Zinchenko into centre midfield, says Ian. I'll probably get clipped on this because it's going to resonate with United fans and Arsenal fans. But Chelsea did fantastic business on Mount and Havertz. And Ten Hag and Arteta did dubious business on Havertz and Mount. I don't think either club needed them. And I don't think either club should have paid the money they paid for them. And I think both signings have actually unsettled teams that were better constructed last season. Arsenal's midfield last season was better with Odegaard and was it Xhaka and Partey? Much better. And Man United's midfield last season was better with Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno. But they both I don't know. It's almost like Arteta and Ten Hag went on holiday with each other and said, how do we fuck up what we did well last year? Because they both went and changed their goalkeepers, which they didn't necessarily need to do. And they both went and changed their midfields, which they definitely didn't need to do. And they both overpaid for players that Chelsea didn't want to do. So look, Arsenal are in a much better position than United. I mean, they're in a title race regardless of whether they lose this or not. But there are big similarities. Arsenal went from a midfield that had two combative midfielders and a 10 to having one combative midfielder and two 10s, but they don't create the chances anymore. And Manchester United went from a midfield that had, two deeper midfielders and a number 10 to one deeper midfielder and two attacking midfielders and don't create chances anymore. It's weird. I know why Arteta and Ten Hag did it, because they want to press higher up the pitch and create more chances, but they create less chances. Arsenal were putting teams away last year. 3-4-0. Peck says, what you on about? Arsenal's midfield is much better now. Well, I disagree. I think Declan Rice makes you a better midfield, but I don't like your balance. I tell you what I would say, if you had Thomas Partey playing next to Declan Rice with Odegaard as 10 and Havertz on the bench, you'd be a better team. I think Odegaard's game has suffered because of Havertz, and I think you don't create the chances. You don't create as many chances. You know what? It's like for me, it's like the old 4-4-2 when you used to have like Sheringham and Shearer. It doesn't work anymore. If you put Haaland up front with Kane, they'd minimise each other's game, and I think that's what happens with two 10s. You put Havertz up there, it minimises Odegaard's game. You don't need to. You don't need to. The whole point of being a number 10 or an attacking midfielder is that you conduct the attacking side of things. But look, Arsenal got 20 minutes to get back into this. Still 1-0 between Tottenham and Bournemouth as well. It's fascinating to me. I love to watch football and I love to see, nothing ever lasts forever. Teams don't stay good forever, but when they're not good, is it age? Is it good save by Raya? Is it age that players decline, or is it tactical switches that don't work? Bloodlaw says Man City will win the league. No one really thinks Arsenal can do it, and as much as I want it, we all know Liverpool are not going to do it with the new midfield, says Bloodlaw. With Arsenal falling away, can Liverpool win the league, or do they need to spend in January, says Rob. I think everybody needs to save in January, spend in January. It's just, the problem is everybody needs to spend in January, and what's available. Arsenal should have bought a left-back instead of Havertz and moved Zinchenko into midfield, says Ian. I think we'd read that, but good point. 20 minutes to go. Pereira's coming on for Iwobi. Time for a stretch. Oh. Defenders of the earth. Ryan says, sleep on Liverpool at your own peril. A lot of people saying nice jeans. You know what? I changed my jeans retailer about 3 years ago. Now every pair of jeans are from the same retailer. They're just, they're just a good fit. It saves me a lot of time. Used to get jeans from all sorts of places, and now I just wear the same brand all the time, and they're just a good fit. Palina is unreal. I'd love him at Liverpool, says LJM. Yeah. Yeah, I think whoever gets him are laughing. Really, he would improve Liverpool, but I don't know whether Liverpool would do that for the price that Fulham are going to want. Be interested to see if he goes in January. Do you think Palina will go in January though? Because he nearly did go in the summer. Arsenal aren't scoring enough goals. Said it after the first month. They're just not scoring enough goals. Pido, not Pedo, says Paulinho has been man of the match by a long way. Oh, can't tell. I'm looking forward to New Year's Eve now. Had some good games. I'm very surprised it's still 1-0 between Tottenham and Bournemouth, though. Arsenal in crisis video coming. Happy New Year. I wasn't going to do a match reaction. I think I'll have to if they lose. Start, bench, sell, Nunez, Jesus, Tony. I'd start Nunez, I'd bench Tony, and I'd sell Jesus. Too inconsistent, Jesus. It's raining in Fulham now. It's obviously moved down from the north of London. Depot says that Tony is miles better than Nunez. I liked Nunez before he went to Liverpool. I still like him now. I think I like Nunez more than some Liverpool fans do at times. But we haven't seen Tony play for a long time as well. There is that recency bias, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play again. I'm sure Brentford are looking forward to seeing him play again as well. I mean, that's, pardon the cliche, but that's like a new signing, isn't it? My missus says you have a nice Tushy in jeans, says Joe. Thanks, Joe. Nunez needs to score more goals, definitely. But Ladios got sunburned at lunchtime. In the UK, I don't think we know what the sun is at the moment, mates. It's just wet. Oh my God. Oh, you know what? I don't know whether anyone else has this. Somebody technical or tactical is going to give us the answer. I sort of needed a piss. Then I had that tea. I need to stop drinking tea. There's something in tea that just, I can be down the pub watching a match, need a piss, don't want to lose my place. Yes, I'll have a pint. I can drink a pint and I'm fine. I can hold it. Cup of tea, straight through me, and it really, really is a painful waiting for it as well. What do you think of Craven Cottage and Fulham as a club, says Sir JK. Lovely. Lovely. It's diuretic, says Goo, or the caffeine. Would you rather live in Grimsby or Scunthorpe? I'll be back with that one. I'm going to have to let this one out. I need to get a bottle. smart from the show. Just going to get Seb in to say Happy New Year, and he's got himself ready for New Year's already. Look at this. He's a man about the town. Wait, where are you off to tonight then? Reflex?
No.
What are you up to? What's on the agenda?
Party.
Tottenham have scored. It's 2-0. We don't like Spurs, do we?
No.
We don't like Arsenal either, do we?
Yeah.
Who scored for Manchester United yesterday?
Marcus Rashford.
And who scored for Forest?
Gibbs White and...
I don't know who scored the first one.
I'm not...
It begins with a D, I think.
Dominguez.
All right.
It was Dominguez.
What did you think about Man United yesterday?
Rubbish.
Why do you think they're so rubbish?
I need more effort in. They needed in more training.
They do. Maybe you could help them out. You helped Maguire out. Would you sell anyone?
No.
You keep them all?
Yeah.
Oh, you're too forgiving, you are.
No, I would if there was 1v1 and they lost. I'll sell him out. That would be
1v1 practice, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. All right, say Happy New Year to everyone because I know you're
Happy
watching.
New Year.
See you later, mate.
See you later.
Right. Apologies. I had to go. That cup of tea, whether it's a diabetic or a diuretic or whatever it is, it absolutely had to come out. I won't be doing that again. I won't be making the tea mistake again. 10 minutes to go here. Didn't see the Spurs' second goal. So if anybody can let me know, well, it was Son who scored. Lo Celso's got 2 assists. Son's very reliable. Very, very reliable. If you don't drink enough water, the caffeine doesn't get broken down in your system, causing you to need to use the bathroom. Morning water with your coffee, tea will help. Thank you, Jake. Very, very, very good. Jake Clips, thank you very much. Mini Bridge, says Justin. Well, that's reassuring, being as he's meant to be mine. And Harry, oh, he is mine. Harry Otter says, Anana Amadou to Man United, good idea or not? Anana, I don't think was a good idea. Grimsby or Scunthorpe? I'm going to go Scunthorpe. Funthorpe. He looks like a Liverpool fan. You missed my super chat, says Bud Ludlaw. I'll go back. Diuretic, says Thomas. And hi, Mark. I wanted to wish you and Seb and everyone a happy New Year, says Daniel. Thank you. And happy New Year to you, Daniel. And everybody who's watching. Let's be honest, poor old Mark has to pick his old enemy winning it or Man City doing 4 on the trot. I know you haters, but 4 on the trot. Come on, Mark, says Bloodlaw. Look, I've sort of hinted. I'll never say it, but I have sort of hinted that Liverpool winning it would be more credible. And I have also hinted that we can't keep praying for people to not break our records. The whole point about records is you work hard to get them and you work hard to defend them. And if you can't win, then you make sure your rivals don't. And, you know, we need to stop it. We can't keep... I'm fed up of praying that somebody will stop Man City or Liverpool. Mark, I just started the match. What happened to Arsenal, says Jay. Just not been good enough again. Not been good enough. Carvalho has been called back to Liverpool. Just been confirmed, says Connor. And might have already been said, but Xhaka was an underrated part of Arsenal's success last season, says Robbo. Yeah. It's a bit like De Gea at Man United last year. People are too easy to go, oh, Xhaka's done a great job for us, but it's time to move him on. De Gea's done a great job for us, but it's time to move him on. And I've watched football for long enough to realise that it's not easy to replace players that are very, very consistent for you. And it takes time to replace them, and it can impact on you. Happy New Year, Marks, and to That's Football community. Hoping this one is better than the last. Chris, I hope it is better for you as well. Thank you very much, mate. Just thinking there, actually, when I went to the toilet, it reminded me, I don't know whether anyone's ever been in this position, but I was stuck in a traffic jam about 6 years ago. And the roads were really icy. I think something had broken down or whatever. So I'm stuck in a traffic jam, and I desperately need a piss. And... it's cold, which makes it even worse. and all I could find in the car was an empty 7-Up bottle, but not 2 litres, like, you know, one of those. So I'm sat there, the car, it's not moving, and I'm thinking, right, what have I been drinking? When was the last time I had a piss? And I started to think, and I thought, look, if I get it out and start doing this, I can do it low enough that there's no lorries that can look down and ruin their lives. So I thought, well, if I do it, what if I fill the bottle? And I know I was having a dilemma of, I could probably stop, but is it better to not start at all and be desperate, or do half a piss and then stop? What would be better? And psychologically, I thought, well, surely it's better to start and stop, because then you're half emptying your bladder. So I did, and I don't think it was the best thing to do, because the bottle filled up quite quickly. I had to stop, and then it was a horrible feeling. So what I then had to do was quickly, in the space of seconds, empty that bottle and get it back there for round 2. So I wound my window down and I emptied the bottle on the road, which I thought was pretty bad anyway. But the car next to me, if they were switched on, which I think they were because they were staring, they can see I'm emptying a 7-Up bottle on the ground. But if they'd been really careful, they'd have seen it was yellow coming out and not clear. So anyway, needless to say, I had the last laugh as I filled it up again. You got to do it. Fulham are on the attack here. Full of cold and girlfriend with a sickness bug. So steady New Year's for us, says Callum. Rest up, mate. Rest up, mate. A lot of people, get ill over Christmas and New Year. You can't do anything about it. And what about the steam, says Jordan? Well, exactly, yeah. Yeah. Steamy, lemon-flavoured 7-Up. I had a shit in the field. I'm not shit. I'm not. We all need to. We all need to piss, and we all need to poo. And people who don't appreciate that need to take a long, hard look at themselves. Basically, I'd made myself 3-0, and is it an assist for Brennan Johnson there? Richarlison scores. Big win for Spurs. This big win. What does that do for the league table? My God, Spurs are 1 point behind Arsenal. That worries. That will worry people a lot. That will worry people a lot. Lovely play by Brennan Johnson. That's going to worry people a lot. You should pick Liverpool because I know you hate us, but we didn't buy it, says Bloodlaw. Liverpool and United were the best because they're what we had coming through the youth. What happened to United is sad. Villa says, bro really end up to going into field. Well, look, I'll tell you a story. I'd made myself a burger the night before, and I really liked fried onions. I've cut back since this. I really liked fried onions, and I'd put too many on. I'm walking to college the next day. My stomach's been going mad on the bus. I'm walking to college, and I'm like, this is an accident waiting to happen. So you have an accident like that at college, you're leaving college, you're finished. So I took a detour through a field. No one was around. I found a bush, let it out, then realised what you're going to do. Took my boxer shorts off, used that as something to clean my arse with. Put my jeans back on. Went to college, went into the showers, had a quit of a wash, and none the wiser. I stand by it. Oh, Demba! Free kick from Pereira, hits the bar. I tell you what, I think there's zero prospect of Arsenal getting back into this game. Zero prospect. Use leaves, not on that sort of one. They're just going to make it worse. We are currently very close to 84,000. We're only 30 subscribers away. So let's see if we can hit it in 2023. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Don't forget, tomorrow night we're live for Liverpool against Newcastle. Liverpool will have the opportunity to go, well, they'll be top anyway for the new year, but they can go 5 points clear tomorrow of Arsenal and Manchester City. 3 points clear of Aston Villa. What's happened to Arsenal? They never would have expected to take 1 point from their last 9. Drawing at Anfield, losing at home to West Ham, and losing here to Fulham. Can they get a late equaliser? Well, maybe they can, maybe they can't. But Fulham are on the break here. They've got the players back, Arsenal there. I think they'll be on 8. Arsenal spineless is Alex G. Well, I'm going to do a quick match reaction after this because I feel I know what Arsenal's problems are. I think we all do. But it's Fulham doing all the attacking. I mean, Arsenal's attacking has been abysmal in this game. But I've played the game. Goal for Bournemouth. They've got 1 back. Clean sheet points gone for Spurs again. Oh, incredible. Incredible. Cross came in. I don't think there's anything for Solanke. It's Tavernier. No, nothing for Solanke. Arsenal are spineless. We've done that from Alex G. Thanks for all the super chats today, by the way, and everyone who's tuning in. Mark, do you think Newcastle has had the hardest fixture list in world football this season? I genuinely think they have. Well, they can't have done, Bazza, because they've played everyone else has done. We're halfway through the league. Tottenham, you had hard Champions League group. Tottenham are 1 point behind Arsenal while going through an injury crisis. Yeah, they won't like that, Stefan. They won't like that. Five minutes added on. Hi, Mark. Happy New Year from Florida, says Connor. So we'll be on New Year's Day tomorrow for Liverpool against Newcastle. I'm going to do a quick Arsenal match reaction in a moment. Scott scored for Bournemouth, by the way, but I mean, they've got 5 minutes left, but I don't think they'll get back in. I think Spurs have got the business done there. But it's a terrible end to 2023 for Arsenal, really. And when you think about Arsenal, they've got to go to the Etihad. I think they've got to go to Spurs in the second half of the season. Didn't they play Spurs? Yeah, they did. They played Spurs at the Emirates. So they've got to go Etihad. They've got to go to Spurs. They've got to go to Old Trafford. I mean, I wouldn't worry about that one. Happy New Year from Norway, says Mr. William. Arsenal were top at Christmas and fourth at New Year. It's incredible. Can I nick that, MD? Oh, I'm going to anyway. Who'll be top at Christmas, that is all. Liverpool are still undefeated. Star. One defeat came against the cheats of VAR against Spurs. Arteta, says Romadou. I was going to do that on the match reaction. Arteta. Arteta. I mean, that's just stupidity. We're only 5 subscribers away from 84,000. Please do subscribe. Don't forget, we're back tomorrow for Liverpool-Newcastle. That'll be a big one. His obsession with Kai Havertz is costing us, says Average. I agree. Would you rather Bowley and be 10th or Glazers and be 6th, says John? Well, I don't think I think you're better off with Bowley. Only a minute and a half left for Arsenal, and I think when we look at the stats, the worrying thing for Arsenal is just the chance creation is terrible. 3 shots on target. Fulham have had more shots and more shots on target, and more corners. Yeah, again, I think same as West Ham, you've got to look at it and go, there can be no complaints. There can be no complaints. If they don't win this game, which they're not going to, they can't really complain. Compared Arsenal's points tally this year compared to last with the investment over the summer, says Chris. And what was it? Oh, he wants me to do it. I don't, Chris. I can't. I don't have a stato who can do that. Man City's league because nobody else wants it, says Bilbo. I don't think it's that no one else wants it, mate. I just think it's that teams like Arsenal can't do it. It's a very competitive league, and you know, Man City can deal with it. I don't think other teams can. I don't think there's anything wrong with signing Rice for 100 million DF, but the Havertz signing was weird at the time, and it still remains weird. Dan says, hello from 2024, I'm Australian, and he's actually correct. Happy New Year from San Diego. Brew on me if you're in social. Thank you very much, Max. Thank you very much. Well, the referee should be blowing his whistle here. It's a big kick by Leno. He's not blown it yet. He's done the 5 minutes. I don't know what the referee's doing. He's adding stoppage time on top of stoppage time. This seems to happen a lot. I don't think referees understand how that works. They don't figure it out. They don't figure it out. They add full time onto stoppage time. It's ridiculous. We're into the 96th minute. Stoppage on stoppage. It's stupid. And there it is. The final whistle. Arsenal lose to Fulham after losing to West Ham. After being top at Christmas. They're 4th on New Year's Eve. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. There's something going on the touchline between Bournemouth and Spurs here. I don't know what's going on there. That's all a bit unsavoury. But I'm going to do a match reaction. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Happy New Year. We're back tomorrow with Liverpool against Newcastle, and I'll have a match reaction going up for you very shortly. Take care, everyone. Speak to you in a bit, and have a great time, whatever you're up to.